Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode I will be reviewing the SOG or SOG Powerlock Multi-Tool. So the first thing you'll notice is what a very attractive case this thing comes in. It's very nice leather, has some nice I guess engraving you call it, out of that leather. Really nice. Has a button, not Velcro. I really despise Velcro. I hate that sound. So it has a nice click, not too loud and obnoxious like Velcro. You can see it uses rivets to hold the leather together. This is the belt loop. Now the thing will ride kind of high in your belt, but I've never wore this, so I don't know how convenient that is or how awkward that is. But I've watched some videos and it seems like people do wear this without a problem. Now this is real leather. You can smell it, definitely tell. So let's take a look at the tool. The first thing that stands out are these gears. Now they do have some newer versions where metal might cover those gears, so some of the newer ones might look a little different. Sorry, didn't mean to kick the tripod again. Now the next thing that stands out about this tool is out of the box, without any modification, it is smooth. This is one of the smoothest multi-tools I've ever handled. Absolutely incredible. Now, the next thing you'll notice is I'm moving these handles really far and the head is moving about half the speed. This is some sort of leverage system. You know, it has some gearing and some leverage system that creates a lot of torque. So basically it's multiplying the amount of power here at the head. So when you're squeezing this, it's getting like twice as much squeeze down here. As a matter of fact, it's so strong that these wire cutters in here will cut through nails. It'll cut through a coin. This thing will cut a penny without a problem, where you might be really straining really hard to do that with a Leatherman or a Gerber. So very impressive. Nice narrow tip. There is no play whatsoever in the head. Now this version is a shiny stainless steel, but they do have versions that have the black oxide coating if you prefer the black. Now also the tools do lock using this lock here. Once we get into the tools, this is what's going to be locking it. There are versions where these instead of having one lock for everything in the one handle, they'll have individual bars for each tool. So you might have a version, or you might come across a version that is different in that way. So now they make this smooth, so you could one-handed open this thing without a problem. You can just flick it open and it'll beat your knuckles there a little bit as you do it, but and you can close it one-handed without a problem. It's just so smooth. So let's go ahead and break into the tools here. Now, in order to get into it, you have to lift this cover. Now this cover is either you like it or you don't. You know, it sort of provides a little bit of protection, keeps a little stirred out, but its main purpose is to make it more ergonomic. So when you're clamping down on something, those covers are covering the edges of the tool here, which are, you know, they're not like very sharp. They're not like $10 multi-tool sharp, but if you're really clamping down really hard, it's going to hurt a little bit. So they provide these here for ergonomics, so it feels good while you're squeezing it. And if you don't like them, you can remove them. They're sort of spring-loaded on here, so if you pull one side off hard enough, you can get it off. It's a little difficult to get back on, but not impossible. So the tools that you have is the knife. Now, did you see what just happened? In this particular version, all the tools come out in one big clump, which I'm not a big fan of. This version, I guess, does not have washers in between the tools, but I'm suspecting that the one with the separate bars on each tool, this probably doesn't happen. So if you get, I got this version at Lowe's for about $50–$60. If you get this version, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have the tools all clumped together as you pull them out. But while they're all out, we'll go through them real quick. You have a partially serrated blade, and I'm just going to let you see how these lock, how it sounds. Actually, it's not fair because the other tools are sort of holding that power lock open a little bit, but we'll give a listen there. So a good tactile click, locks pretty good. To unlock it, you just press here and it unlocks it. So let's go ahead and get all the tools out. This has this V cutter on the other side here. Let you take a look at that. This V cutter is used to, you know, cut a seat belt or something similar to that. You just sort of clamp that belt around and pull. Let you look at the other side really close there. Really nice. All these tools look like they're very well made. There's good craftsmanship. It doesn't look like there's any nasty machining like some of the other companies may have. Here is something to hold 1/4-inch sockets with. And there's something strange about this. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. Let's fold down the blade. And you also get a bottle opener and screwdriver. Now this socket will lock in the halfway position also, which is kind of strange because you cannot move this cover back down to use it in that fashion. So I'm not sure exactly why it's doing that. But it also locks all the way out, which is probably the way you'll have to use it. If you want to use it in this half-open position, like this, you're going to have to work on the edge somewhere where this door is not going to get in the way, or just remove that door or this cover altogether if you have no clearance. So kind of strange there. On the other handle, you get a file. And this file is really nice because you, the edge is also a file, so you can notch an improvised tent stake. What's next? We have another screwdriver here on the tip of the can opener. We have a Phillips screwdriver, which also locks in that halfway position. And we have a large flathead screwdriver. And here's something that's really good to have in a multi-tool, and it's very, very sharp and pointy. And this thing would have no problem getting through leather. And you get a very aggressive saw. A fairly good size saw there. So saw, screwdriver, Phillips, can opener, little screwdriver, and file all on the other side. All of the tools are done very nice. The blade is very sharp out of the box. Now you also get a crimper right in here, if you could see that. And because this thing is really providing that torque, you can crimp the crap out of whatever you want in there. It would have no problem bearing down and crimping something really good without too much effort on your part. So you also get a ruler. If you hold it out in this position, you get about 9 inches. Now another thing you'll notice about this tool is it is extremely heavy. This thing by itself without the sheath is just a bit over 9 ounces. With the sheath it's probably almost 11 ounces. So it's a heavy tool. It's probably what I would consider a large multi-tool. So its competition would be the Gerber Legend or the, I don't know, the Leatherman Power Tool, I think it's called, or maybe the Wave. And I think I would prefer the Wave over this for reasons as far as the way all these other tools. But if we were talking strictly about the plier head, this is definitely superior to everything. This is the best plier head I've ever seen in a multi-tool. But the rest of the tools, as far as in this version, have some downfalls, and this door is a little inconvenient. But there are other versions out there that do address some of these shortcomings. So for this particular version, I'll give it a 7 because that's a lot of downfalls. This whole cover thing really, I'm having an issue with. I wish they could somehow make this smooth so you can bear down on it without the doors. But again, you can remove the doors and just deal with the ergonomic problem. So it's sort of up to you how you want to address that. Another thing you don't get with this is anything for eyeglasses. And because I wear glasses, I prefer to have one of those very, very small eyeglass screwdrivers in my multi-tool. So if I'm ever in an emergency situation and it's my only tool, I can take care of my glasses if I have a eyeglass issue. So this really, I think, covers it all. Again, you can see how unique this looks. The older versions had these gears, and Lowe's still sells this particular version, but the new ones, they protect these gears with a larger piece of metal. See how this piece of metal here is? Well, they make that big enough where it covers and protects the gears so it extends out beyond these gears. So if you drop it down like that, these gears won't be the first thing that hits the ground, which I think is a good improvement. This has been around for years and years and years. It's very proven, and SOG is constantly improving upon their design. So good on them. They see the shortcomings and they fix them, and that's what I'd like to see in a company. So SOG has a really good multi-tool that they're constantly improving. So I hope you have enjoyed this particular review of the SOG Powerlock. If you're a SOG fan, you didn't like my review of 7, keep in mind that it's for this particular version, which is more of the bottom of the line as far as these power locks are concerned, and the newer ones with those improvements that I discussed, I would easily give it an 8 or a 9. So with that said, I really do appreciate friends, viewers, and subscribers for coming by the Gear Obsession channel. Again, I know I'm not the best reviewer out there, I'm not the most exciting reviewer out there, but I try to be fair, I try to keep it down to earth, and some of you, I guess, enjoy it that, just like the way that I do it. So thank you very much again for stopping by the Gear Obsession channel, and have a great